Here is that video again. 10 seconds of a toddler standing on the table tray and wobbling the seat in front has gone viral and has started a debate over child-free sections on planes. With more on this, let's bring in our travel expert, Marty Firestone. All right, Marty, you've watched the video, I'm sure, a number of times. What do you think of this?
Fired up is too kind a word if that was me sitting in the seat in front of this child.
Yeah.
This is just unacceptable, and I don't blame the child. There's only one person to blame, and that is the parents. Who's kidding who? How they could let this go on, forgetting the guy in front. I don't know. I'm hoping he was sleeping, because there's just no way you can forget about that. Bottom line, it is bringing about discussions about child-free zones. Quiet zones, they're calling them, rows 1 through 4 after business or economy, or I should say business or first class. Now quiet zones. It's just too small a place to think rows 1 through 4 you're not going to hear on 5, 6, 7, 8 if there's noises. So, I mean, there's talk about no children 12 or under at all on some flights. No children in first class. Who knows? I mean, this is a bizarre video when you think about it.
Yeah, are there any airlines that currently offer that, Marty, that you know of, child-free sections on planes? And again, would that really be an effective solution here?
There is. Some European and Asian airlines actually have these quiet zones. As I said, a few rows are devoted to no children. It's not going to change anything to have that, short of saying no kids are on this flight, whether it be business class or even economy. So I don't think anybody's going to go to those extremes. I think the problem lay with the parents who should discipline the children right away, or at least call a flight attendant and say that this is unacceptable. Can you please have it stopped?
And Marty, what is your best advice for parents? I was telling Jeff earlier in the show that over the years traveling with the kids, I saw if you didn't pre-book your seat, they were putting families to the back. And I'm all for that. And my advice to parents, if you see that happening, don't fight it. We're all in this together as families, so let's just go where they're putting us.
I think you have to keep the children engaged, whether it's an iPad and books or anything. You've got to keep them doing something. But who's kidding who? Takeoff and landing, it's very normal for especially infants and all those to be screaming. But you as travelers are appreciative that the parents are trying to keep them quiet. But I have to believe this is a one-off experience. I don't think I've ever flown and seen anybody jump on the tray table and bounce ahead the guy in front of them.
Yeah, it's a first. I think that is a first, safe to say. All right, as the travel industry continues to rebound, Marty, it is actually luxury travel that is leading the way. Why is that, and just how surprising is this, considering how inflation has really impacted family budgets?
Yeah, it goes against cost of living, inflation, and everything right now. Having said that, the hotels, the airfare, the cost of travel is through the roof, and you know what? People are still doing it, and that's what's so strange. And I guess they will continue to do it until such time that they realize they can't afford it anymore. But at this point, you book airline tickets for, let's say, next Christmas, they are close to twice what they were last Christmas. And hotels, same thing last summer versus this summer. So I guess as long as you can justify that you haven't traveled in 3 years and now you're going to be spending lots of money over and above, they're going to do that as long as they can.
All right. We were talking about this on the show last week because it happened last week. Federal government announcing a new program to streamline airport security. Marty, how is it going to work?
Yeah, it's called the Trusted Traveler Program, and the bottom line is it's the people who have Nexus and military and I believe police, but the bottom line is you don't have to take off your jacket anymore, belts or shoes, or the minimum amount of liquid or laptops in your bag, and you'll be able to walk right through. I think it's going to speed up lines. The most interesting part that never really got discussed on this one is children 12 and under now, if they are traveling with a trusted traveler, don't need Nexus and they can go in that line. People 75 and older can get into that line. So, you know, you saw many families who had recent newborns, and if they didn't have a Nexus, the whole family had to go in the non-Nexus line. Now that's different. So I think this is going to speed up things tremendously and should make it a much better experience when you're traveling.
All right. Also want to mention here on this Tuesday, Bell now offering free online messaging to Aeroplan members on Air Canada flights, Marty. What more can you tell us about this, and what does this mean for the Aeroplan brand and for travelers?
Yeah, it's a great collaboration between them and Bell. Bottom line is you won't be out of touch now. If you are an Aeroplan member and if the plane is Wi-Fi equipped, you will be able to text message during your entire flight. In addition, they also are offering SIM cards to international travelers coming into Canada that will allow them to text during the flight and be able to use those SIM cards while they are traveling within Canada. So I think it's a win-win for all, and it's going to be a greater experience. Again, TV also is supposed to be on. News and sports is going to be live on Airplane. So the whole experience is going to be much better.
All right, we'll leave it there. Thank you, Marty.
Thank you for having me.